Hello learners, welcome to class. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, presentation of data. So in this chapter you'll be learning about presentation of data and the textual presentation of data, and what are the objectives of tabulation, and then what are the parts of idle table, and what are the classification of table, and what are the types of table. Let's see one by one now. Now let's start with the presentation of data. In the previous chapter, we have just discussed with the methods of collection and the organization of data. In this, you'll be learning how to present the data. Yes, so this refers to the organization of data into the tables, graph or the charts, so that the logical and the statistical conclusion can be derived from the collected measurement. So, we will examine the methods of presenting the data in a systematic form, and we have three main methods used for presentation of data. What are the methods? That's what I've said you. The first one, tables, isn't it? That is, we'll be calling it as a tabular presentation. And the next one, graphs. We can present it in the form of graphical presentation, or charts. That is, we can present in the form of diagrammatic presentations. Let's move to the next one. What are the objectives of tabulation? In this, we have totally 5 objectives. The first one, to simplify the complex data. Second, to economize the space. Third, to facilitate comparison. Fourth, to facilitate statistical analysis. The fifth one, to provide reference. Yes, let's start with the first one, to simplify the complex data. The tabulation aims to present the classified data in an orderly manner, okay, and apart from it, the idea is to reduce the bulk of information and then under investigation into a simplified at the same time meaningful form. That's why we are calling the first one to simplify the complex data. Second one, to economize the space. The tabulation aims to save the space by condensing the data in a meaningful form without sacrificing the quality, at the same time the quantity of data. The third, to facilitate comparison. It also aims to facilitate quick comparison, okay, among the various observations by presenting the data in a tabular form. The next one, to facilitate statistical analysis. The tabulation aims to facilitate statistical analysis, as it is a place between classification and presentation of data. So the various statistical measures we can use it, that is the average, dispersion, correlation, etc. And it can be calculated easily from the data which are systematically tabulated. The next one, to provide reference. The tabulation which aims to provide the references for further studies, as data arrange the tables with titles, table number can be easily identified, and at the same time we can use it. That's why we are calling it as to provide the references. So these are the objective of tabulation: to simplify the complex data, to economize the space, to facilitate comparison, to facilitate statistical analysis, and the last one is to provide the reference. Let's move to the next one, the parts of an idle table. The table which consists of the first one, it will be you have a title, next table number, and then source, footnotes and references, body of the table, column headings or captions, date, stubs. So this which consists of parts of an idle table. Let's see one by one. Let's start with the first one, table number. Each table should be numbered for easy identification, and apart from it, for the further references. So when there are many tables, this table should be numbered in the logical sequences, and apart from it, the table number may be given on the top of the table or at the beginning of the title of the table. Yes? Now let's move to the next one, title. A suitable title should accompany every table, and title is a brief explanation of the content of the table. Next, we'll just move to the next one, source notes. A source notes which refers to the source from which information has been taken. Okay, and the source note is given in the case of secondary data, and the source should contain the name of the book, page number, table number, etc. and from which the data have been collected. if more than one sources is there, then what will happen? All the sources are to be written in the source notes. Okay, next, footnotes. Footnote is the last part of the table. Okay, that is the footnote which explains the specific feature of the data, yes, and which content of the table, which is not self-explanatory and has not been explained early. Okay, the next body of the table is the most important part of the table, which contains data. Okay, that is the numerical information. And next, caption. Okay, or we can call it as a column headings. At the top of each column in the table, a column designation is given to explain figures of the column. Okay, so this is called caption or a column heading. The next, stubs, or we can call it as a row headings. Like a caption or column heading, each row of the table has to be given a heading. So stubs, which refers to headings of the horizontal rows. A brief description of the row headings may also be given at the left hand top in the table. So these are the parts of the table. That is the table number, the title, and then source notes, footnotes, and then body of the tables, caption or column headings, and stubs or row headings. A table which consists of three classifications. The first one on the basis of objectives, and the second one on the basis of nature of data, and the third one on the basis of extent or coverage. So on the basis of objective, you have general purpose table and specific table. Okay, and on the basis of nature of data, you have original table and derived table. On the basis of extent or coverage, you have simple table, and the last one is complex table. The first one, general purpose table. What do you mean by general purpose table? Which represent the raw detail, okay, in the great detailed form. See, for example, the government department's reports. That's why we are calling it as a general purpose table. The second one, specific table. That is special purpose table, which provide the specific information regarding, see, for example, a production of a company. Okay, we can give an example for a specific table, that is a special purpose table. And the next one, that is on the basis of nature of data. The two division, one is original and the other one is derived. What is the original table? Which contains statistical facts in the original form. Okay, see example, the figures or the facts not rounded off, we are calling it as an original table. Derived table is nothing but which represents the result which derived from the original table. Okay, we can give it the example of averages and percentage. The next one, simple table and complex table. It's the simplest form of table in which the data is presented according to the characteristics. Okay, under complex table, the table which represents the data according to two or more characteristics. That's why we are calling it as a complex table. Let's start with the first one, simple table. It is also known as one-way table or the first order table. So in this, you can see the number of students in different section of class 11 in a school. The first column which denotes with the section, and the second column number of students. So in a specimen of simple table, the following simple table which shows the number of students in the different sections of class 11. Yes, that's why we are calling it as a simple table. Let's move to the next one, two-way table. So in this two-way table, or we can call it as a double table, it gives information about two interrelated characteristics of a particular phenomenon. See, for example, if a number of students of class 11 in the different sections are further divided the sex-wise, or the table would become a two-way table. Okay, so the shape of the table will be, you can see the number of students, okay, of different section of class 11 in a school. The first column which denotes about the sections. Second, the number of students, that is the boys and the girls, and the total. That's why we are calling it as a two-way table. The next one, manifold table. The manifold table, yes, the table which explains more than 3 characteristics of a data. So we are calling it as a manifold table. And these tables provide information on a large number of interrelated problems or the characteristics of a given phenomenon. And this is the most complex form of a table. Let us quickly recall what we studied in the session. First, we have to start with the introduction, that is the presentation of data, and then the textual presentation of data, and what are the objectives of tabulation. Okay, and then we have studied about what are the parts of an ID table. Okay, and then what are tables, that is the classification, types of table. Okay, and then in that we have discussed with the simple table, and then two-way table and manifold table. Thank you.